Hi everyone, this one is about adolescence. And what's Brad Pitt got to do with it? Where does Brad Pitt fit into this? Is that kind of random or what? Did you know about Brad Pitt in this?
No.
I know, that's why I thought I'd mention it straight away. Interesting, isn't it? Brad Pitt quite random. But in a way, Brad Pitt not quite random because Brad Pitt and him have worked together before. Spoiler alert, guys, this is about adolescence, which has taken the UK by storm, and of course I'm sure it's gone global. It's all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah.
With its comments on social media, school culture, parenting, the state of how kids are treated maybe in certain care situations, and how in a way we're all responsible for each other in a way, really, isn't it? So we'll discuss all of it, including the performances, including the whole one take thing, and let's get into it. So Adolescence, let me just get this out of the way. I met Stephen Graham. He's like the one celeb. Well, I met another celeb, but that's for another story. Stephen Graham, right? So I met him many years ago. Many years ago. We were in some random place. You don't need all the details, so I'm not going to tell you all the details. So you're in this random place, loads of people around, and I'm just walking through, and then he just appears out of the crowd, right? Just right in front of me. I'm like, whoa! And then pause for a second, and he stops as well. And I went, Snatch! No, I didn't. I went, Lock, Stock! And he went, no, I'm Tommy from Snatch. And I was like, oh yes, Snatch. And then he laughed and said hello type thing, bit of a shake hands type thing, right? And then amazing, he invited me to spend some time with him and his friends. It was just crazy.
That's nice.
That's proper nice, isn't it?
Yeah, that's really nice.
Really nice. It just shows that's just this guy's character just through and through.
Yeah.
He's just a...
Really humble.
Yeah.
Minded. Yeah.
Amazing.
I like that.
No joke, I just bumped into this guy out of the middle of nowhere and I was like, whoa, Lock, Stock. He's like, no, Snatch. It was brilliant.
And he does come across like that as well.
Yeah.
Like a nice guy.
He comes across, in my opinion, wise beyond his years.
Yeah.
But also... genuinely down to earth and genuinely got no real hang-ups, no chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
And as a result of that, I feel he can not only educate himself on deep topics, but express them. And they can be naturally just part of him. That's just the way he is. He invites me over, spend a bit of time with him, right? I've forgotten what we were talking about, if anything, really. I remember him saying that I'm not supposed to be out here. I'm not supposed to be out and about and stuff. I'm filming. If my producer finds me out like this, I'm in trouble, this kind of thing, yeah. And then, I don't know why, but I've never forgotten this detail. He was like, check out these trainers.
That's random.
I looked at his trainers, right? And it had this design on them, kind of squiggly lines type thing. And he was like, see that design in them? That's laser cut. That's laser designed like that. And I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. It was interesting that it was laser
That's so
done.
random.
It is random, but I just like that it was conversation and he was sparking the conversation. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was really good. But yeah, it was these laser.
He's really chatty then, isn't he?
He's just a really good guy.
Yeah.
He's just a really good guy. And I feel lucky that I can say that I've met him. And you've got to think about it. Since then, I've always kind of kept an eye on his career because I'm yeah, I've met that guy.
Yeah.
So I've kind of seen beneath the surface, right?
Yeah.
And his career has just been going leaps and bounds. I couldn't follow everything, of course.
Yeah.
But it was always doing really well. He's really talented.
Would you say he's at his peak now?
Now, yeah.
With this is his signature. Do you know what I mean?
Ooh.
His masterpiece.
I think this is a really strong depiction of his ability as an actor, yeah. right? But there was something which he had done, which was something else, and I was like, that's amazing. Like, he was amazing in the film with Pacino, Al Pacino, and the other one. Who's the other proper Italian gangster legend? Al Pacino and
I've forgotten his name now.
the guy from Meet the...
Yeah, I know who you mean.
Anyway, like, he was just amazing in that. Amazing. But now he's everywhere. He's done a thing for Disney right now. He's
Robert De Niro.
Robert De Niro. He's done a thing for Disney right now. He's done another thing for Netflix, The Walk-In. He's got so much going on. Like, he's
Yeah.
absolutely killing it right now. He's really busy.
Yeah.
But his talent is really what we should be looking at, because his talent is it's testament as to why he's doing so well and why he's managed to stay relevant for all these years. And on top of that, he's just a great guy. He's an amazing guy.
Yeah.
And then don't forget, like, I would say his breakthrough was Snatch, right? And in Snatch, he was acting with Brad Pitt then. Brad Pitt was in Snatch. You know what I mean? That's easily forgotten. Brad Pitt was there. And Vinnie Jones was in that as well. And then who's that guy who's always playing like Bruce Willis roles? British guy. Skinhead. Statham was in that, of course. It was Statham and Thingy. And, and Stephen Graham. And yeah. But anyway, I met him years ago. Amazing guy. Cannot speak highly enough of him. He's clearly a genuine guy like that. So, got that out of the way. Now, Brad Pitt, how is he involved?
I didn't know he was.
I didn't know he was until just now. Basically, executive producer.
Is he?
Yeah. Executive producer. So he's like a producer on it type thing.
Random.
I know, random, but amazing. Apparently, it's his production company that's involved in this, Plan B. Plan B is his. I didn't know that either. Plan B's done some pretty good things. So, yeah. Isn't it? Do you know what it is? With Stephen Graham's character just being like a genuine guy, yeah, you can bet he's
kept in touch.
Naturally kept in touch.
Yeah, with
and he's one of the people who
works with.
Yeah, and he's one of the people who you'd keep in touch with him.
Yeah.
You just would. He's just a, you know what I mean? He's just a great guy. So if you lost touch with him, it's your loss.
I've just had a look at the things he's been in. Boiling Point, 1,000 Blows, This Is England, Snatch, Venom, The Irishman.
The Irishman, yeah. He was in Venom.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was in Venom, 2021 Venom.
1,000 Blows is a new thing.
Line of Duty.
We've not seen... Oh.
We've watched bits of Line of Duty. We've watched like one or two seasons.
He's brilliant, you know.
Yeah.
Extremely talented.
He's been in a lot, actually. Peaky Blinders, which we've not really watched, have we?
Oh, he'd be good in that.
Yeah, he's been in a lot.
Do you know what I really like about him? I really like that he does these roles and he like maintains the Liverpool accent. Right? And I'm just like, I just love how he does that. It's almost like he's got that like gravitas, that stance where I'm like, yeah, I can do this in my own accent if that's cool, and he'll just do it if it fits the character.
And it does fit the character.
Oh, of course, yeah, in this one, of course. But also, he can do the American accent really well.
Oh.
Like Jason Statham, I'm not trying to diss Jason Statham, but he can't do the American accent. He just can't do it. But Stephen Graham, yeah, American accent, really good. In The Irishman, amazing performance. In front of two like proper heavyweight legends. And he's just like himself, just proper smashing it. I think he was in Gangs of New York. Basically, he was in something with DiCaprio as well. So he's proper like being with legends. Like, yeah. What does that mean?
So let's move on now.
Okay,
this is a very long intro.
Wow. What should we move on to then?
So what it's about?
Okay, spoiler alert, of course, guys. So, Adolescence. Actually, you know, when you look at it, the title is like bang on, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
because it's very much about that age, isn't it? And it's
Childhood to adult.
yeah, it's at that very impressionable age.
Yeah.
You know, and that age is getting just tougher with today's day and age, with social media and stuff, and the different pressures that are now on teens. Anyway, what it's about is, spoiler alert, it's about a girl who gets attacked, and for me, it was a whodunit for a good chunk of it, but the writers are saying it's not a whodunit, it's not a murder mystery. It's more a comment on how do we get into a state where a schoolboy, attacks a schoolgirl. And it was inspired by a couple of news reports that came out of the UK where that situation had occurred twice in quite a close succession and in two opposite ends of the country. So it's very much like a living, current, active problem. And he was looking at where this comes from, so he's looked into that, and that's how he's made this story. So it's, in a way, it's inspired by real events, but it's not like a true story. And then, of course, it's filmed along 4 episodes.
Yeah. And shot in
one take.
Yeah.
They're all shot in one take. And let me just say this right now before I forget. The final episode, the actual take that we get to watch at the end, is the 14th take. Let's say that again. The final episode is the 14th take. 14th. That's mental. It's about an hour long. So that's like 14 hours. And that's just of filming. Forget all the prep. That's mad, isn't it?
Yeah.
Do you reckon that was 14 separate days?
No, definitely not.
So what, you reckon they filmed one in the morning and then one in the afternoon?
Yeah, but just because it's 14 takes doesn't mean it got to an hour.
Yeah, I know, it could have been like
10
5 minutes, 10 minutes. Yeah.
But yeah.
But I think that, like, let's say it did go 10 minutes. The whole reset everything. Let's get the paint back off the van again, or whatever, get a new van in. All that would have to be undone. You know? I think the first episode was a second take. Something like that. It was a low number. But 14 is a big one.
But also it's probably because that last episode was a very emotional one.
Yeah.
It was like a lot of acting, like real acting, like proper acting, you know, between Graham and the wife in the show. So like I cried in that scene.
Yeah, I don't blame you. It was very emotional, very powerful.
Yeah.
It was getting me a little bit as well in that scene.
I think if you're a parent,
Yeah, if you're a parent,
like you know,
it does get you.
It does touch you quite a bit. So be prepared.
Yeah.
But really well made though. Like I love the message in it.
Yeah, I think it really speaks to parents.
Yeah, really
because
does.
Parents are involved in, like, of course, parenting, but then of course they're involved in the school life as well, isn't it? Like,
yeah.
You know,
Yeah. And I think to some extent, would you agree, like, it's about fatherhood as well. It's like, it's like, you know,
male role model.
It's not blaming anybody. It's not blaming parents or specifically fathers, but, you know, dads, you know, they have a big role.
Yeah.
It's like sons and daughters, but I would say sons a lot more in some sense. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
At that age.
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely like sons because it looks at incel culture.
Do you want to define incel?
Do you know what? We'll come on to the incel stuff in a minute. I think that we're already on parenting. Let's cover it. No, in fact, let's just finish off what it's about. Sorry, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So it covers each of the 4 episodes, and I do find it amazing how what they've done here is to tell that story. They've chosen 4 intervals, 4 intersections in that story, which give the most information.
Yeah.
And I find that to be absolute genius. So they start off with the raid at the house. This is the inciting incident. This is where things go into disequilibrium. Life was normal until this point where the raid happens. Now life has changed drastically. And this is where we find out what's happened, who's got arrested, what's the crime, all of that. That's the first intersection. I just find that, honestly, the choices they've made to tell this story in just 4 parts of the situation is amazing.
Yeah.
They've chosen the right places.
Yeah, really well thought of.
Really well
planned.
thought through, extremely efficient.
Yeah, especially because it's just one continuous shot.
Yeah.
They had to like really plan that, like the strategy. Do you know, going from one place to another, like the house, the police station.
Yeah. Yeah. Amazing. In a way, that's the police story.
Yeah.
Yeah. So first it's the house raid and the police story and the police interrogation, right? Next it was the school.
Yeah.
Next it was the school and how the school impact happens, what happens there,
Yeah.
who else is affected, the girl's like best friend. Let's illustrate that. And then the girl's friend is like talking about the victim's family and stuff, and it's like how that all comes into it. Then the next one is the psychologist.
Psychiatrist, yeah.
Yeah. I think she's psychologist, I think she was. Psychologist, psychiatrist,
Okay.
we'll call her either, no matter, interchangeable. You know what we mean. And this is where the psychologist, psychiatrist is doing the assessment of the boy. And that was just wild.
Yeah.
We might break down these episodes a bit more as we go, because I think we should. They deserve it.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the last one is, let's call it the parent story, isn't it?
Yeah.
The family story. And they're just at home and they're just experiencing the repercussions of what's happened.
Yeah.
And it's like a day in their life. And not only that, it was his birthday, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's like the aftermath of, you know,
Yeah.
the son being locked up.
Yeah. Son being locked up. So those are the 4 episodes. And absolute genius as to how they were put together. Really, really amazing. And right, yeah, parenting, yeah. How I see it, and I think one of the messages of the show is sometimes it doesn't matter what you do.
Yeah.
You can, as a parent, you can do the best in the world. It doesn't matter that the child is going to turn out the way you want or do the things you want them to do. There's certainly no guarantee
Yeah.
in it. It doesn't mean don't try, of course,
Yeah, there's no guarantee.
in it. What do you think about the parenting angle on this?
Well, obviously, like, there'll be there are, you know, knock-on effects, and obviously you want to bring your children up in, like, a happy, in a safe, you know, in that healthy environment, because you want to protect them from, you don't want to come up, like, you know, like a lot of parents, they don't argue, do they, in front of their children below 18 years old, maybe. You don't want to see them, you don't want them to see any, like, violence, any aggression and all that stuff. And children being exposed to that, often it does affect them. But in that program, though, I didn't feel like the parents were, you know, that I felt like they had quite a healthy relationship.
I get you.
Don't you?
I mean, I think they were illustrating where the dad had an aggressive streak in him.
Yeah.
But I get that. I also understand that.
But it wasn't like extreme.
Yeah.
Like aggressive, violent.
I mean, that is for each individual interpretation. Like, some people might find that to be extremely extreme, and some people might find that to be not. I think for you and me, maybe we see that as the guy's at breaking point. He's going through a lot.
Yeah.
So if he cracks now, it makes sense.
It's normal, yeah.
I suppose what they didn't show us is how if he was to scream or crack or whatever.
Yeah, on a normal day.
On a normal day.
Yeah,
but then again,
okay.
the son did say that he smashed down the shed.
Yeah.
So that may be a situation where they're trying to show us
Yeah.
not a normal day, but another situation.
Yes. Okay.
And then there was the relationship with Stephen Graham's own dad, and he was like, yeah.
Oh, yes.
Because he got a birthday card written by not the dad, but the like stepmom, I think, or mum.
Yeah.
So it was showing that, like, almost inherited aggression in a way.
Yeah, like passed down.
But what was amazing was Stephen Graham had intentionally tried not to pass it down.
Yeah.
Do you remember him mentioning it?
Yep.
Somewhere he mentions that my dad was blah, blah, blah like this, and I did whatever I could. I did my best to make sure that doesn't happen with.
Yeah, and that happens a lot.
I know it happens a lot.
A lot of parents do avoid that because they've, had the opposite style of parenting from their parents.
So that's the one thing which they make sure doesn't happen to their kid.
Yeah.
But then I suppose it seeps through. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is it inevitable?
No. Yeah.
There's
no guarantees there.
That's it. But I respect each person making best efforts to try and stop it.
Because it's hard, isn't it? Parenting is hard. But yeah, I think they portrayed that really well in that last episode, in explaining that you do your best. Like, for example, they were saying, like, we put him in boxing classes, we played football, and he weren't so good at it, and then he wanted a computer, so we built him a computer or bought him a computer, and that's safe enough.
That's at home.
It's at home. It's in his bedroom. What danger could get in there?
Yeah.
So you can tell, like the parents often try and do good things, for the kids.
Yeah.
And look what happened.
Yeah, I know. I feel like one of the messages of this, I was going to say film, is everyone's doing what they're doing for the first time.
Yeah.
When your parents have parented you, that's them doing it for the first time.
Yeah.
They never had a manual. And you are different to your siblings. No matter how many kids they've raised, raising you is different to raising the others. The same goes for the schools. Yeah, the teachers could have taught for years, but every class really is unique, and every situation is also unique. So I think one of the messages of this is like everyone's doing everything for the first time. It's always new, and there's no manual.
Yeah.
But they did whatever they could, and they seemed like they were trying. They didn't seem bad. They seemed like, the sister was normal too, really, wasn't she?
Yeah.
Unless you're missing something. School, I think, had its rough parts, but I don't think it was the worst school I've seen.
That's what I mean. It's like a combination of things, isn't it? Like that can affect a child's thoughts, beliefs, actions, and it could be their friends. It's like they've got family, then they've go to school so many hours a day.
Yeah.
It's the friends they're hanging around with, and then you've got social media.
Social media is just.
Do you know what I mean? Technology now, you just go on your phone or iPad or whatever on his computer after school, and then they've got access to everything.
Can you imagine how that affects the feelings of kids nowadays?
Yeah, I know.
I bet your anxiety just spikes through the roof, because of that.
Like, if you think of the cases, like how many children have had a bad experience
online. Yeah, I know what you mean. That's it. So that's why I'm glad that social media was brought up in here, because it's powerful. It's extremely powerful in today's day and age, especially with how it affects
scary.
young minds. Yeah. Honestly, I feel like you shouldn't be allowed to access it until you're 21. 18, okay, 18, 21. Shouldn't be allowed to access it. I don't think it's healthy. And I don't think again, kids aren't playing out like they used to, and that was a massive part of our life.
Yeah, but I don't think it's safe though.
And that is the whole thing. It isn't safe.
I wouldn't let my kids play out.
Yeah, I think not necessarily play out, but I think that parents will now have to get involved and take kids to just you're gonna have to take a minute, football or whatever they want to do, even if it's playing tig or hide and seek. You're gonna have to take them to arranged things.
Yeah.
Isn't it mad how it all changed? When did it become unsafe?
Yeah.
Was it always unsafe, even when we were playing out? We just didn't know about it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's a good question. I don't know.
isn't it? But
Obviously, like different areas are different. Like I used to play out till like 9, 10. Well, okay, maybe not 10. On a school day, like I could come home at 9 o'clock. Even in summer when it was like still bright.
bright. That's what I was going to say.
9, half 9. I could like
So, yeah, I could
go
play
home
out till
then,
9,
and my
10.
parents would be fine.
Because it's still bright outside, really,
Yeah.
fine.
But now though, like
Why?
I don't think I would let them out.
Hmm.
Like go knock on the friends' doors up the road and play till 9, half 9. Even in summer, I'm not sure I would be all right with that.
It's weird that, because now we've got the tools to even make sure that they're safe. If we wanted to, we could track them. Or if we wanted to, if they got mobile, we could just ring them. We can ring them, whatever.
Yeah.
So in a
think
way, the
it's-
tools are there to keep them safer, but we're still not really comfortable.
Yeah.
Strange, isn't it? But true.
Yeah. I think we've just been exposed to like so many of these stories that happen, you know, these like all these news about I don't know, all these like bullying and all this like attacks and things on the streets, and it's not always just on the streets either, like, you know, do you know what I mean? Like I just don't feel like it's safe now, and I don't think we're the only ones who think that.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I feel like
I think that's across a lot of races as well.
yeah, it's not just one race. It's everybody is thinking that way, I think.
Yeah.
And I feel what's interesting is I feel like we are thinking that because of the information we've got. Do you understand?
Yeah.
Like the information age is here, so we're now getting more information than we used to.
Yeah.
More things are recorded and available to us with like the swipe of a finger. And because of that, we're like, yeah, no, you can stay at
Yeah.
home and we'll make sure home is entertaining for you.
Yeah.
Isn't it weird? How the social media, the social stuff is kind of fostering antisocial behaviour. You know what I mean? It's creating an antisocial generation. It really is. More people are going to continue to communicate through technology than face to face as we go forward, for sure. And when they grow up, they're going to have much less social skills. You know? And I think that brings us quite nicely on to the whole incel thing. Okay, go on. Have you got that incel definition there? Because I basically know what an incel is, but I don't have the actual definition. So let's not get it misconstrued or anything.
Well, according to Wikipedia, incel is a term associated with the mostly online subculture of people who define themselves as unable to find a romantic or sexual partner despite desiring one, and who may blame, objectify and denigrate women and girls as a result.
So it's specifically denigrating and objectifying females, isn't it? So that puts it at like males doing it to females.
Yeah.
Interesting, isn't it? So let's put it into like basic English. It's guys who can't pull, who cannot attract a partner, right? Or at least believe they can't, and so fall into a position of blaming the opposite gender, blaming females.
Yeah.
I find that interesting.
Yeah.
Now,
It's like heterosexual men or boys who blame girls or women and society for their lack of romantic success.
interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now, for me, I believe that incels have extremely strong beliefs. Like,
Yeah.
really strong beliefs.
And misogynistic like views as well.
Yeah, but also a warped self-image. Like, I think that's what they were getting at in the show for the psychologist conversation, when he was like, I'm ugly. What do you mean? I am ugly. All this. That's why they're doing this to me, because I'm ugly. Don't you think I am? Like that, right? And that belief is like really strongly held, that they're ugly or bad looking, when it very much may not be the case. Or if they are, a healthier lifestyle potentially may be able to turn that around anyway. you know? Or getting yourself out there, socialising. Social skills, building those can make someone attractive just in themselves.
Yeah.
But it's this strong belief that no, society has done this. Women have done this. And that really strong belief is what like really etches out just this like really weird personality. I really like that they explored the whole incel thing because it really got that conversation going because a lot of people didn't even know about it. Did you know about them?
No.
No, I'd heard about them. I've heard people talking about them. I've heard like Russell Brand and stuff talk about them. Yeah, and other people as well. It is a real thing, a real powerful thing. I think it's massive in America, but I'm not just going to say it's in the West. It's in other parts of the globe as well. Definitely, definitely active. And unfortunately, it's warped ideas, warped beliefs, and it's women, unfortunately, who get
Suffer from it.
Yeah.
Repercussions.
They get the repercussions, yeah. And it's like, it's just really tragic. It's really sad. Yeah. What do we do? Like, what happens? Is it a case of like, they create support groups for these people? What do you do? I think that if this exists and it's a big issue, what can or should be done to support these people who must need it?
I don't know. It's hard, isn't it? Because like, if like, say like if like your son came home and like asked you like, "Am I ugly?" and like he thinks he's ugly, you would just like try and make him feel better. You'd tell him like, "No, that's not.
Well,
you're not."
I'd be like, well, if you did your homework, if you did your homework, then no. If you haven't, then yes.
We need to do some like self-care course thing at home between the parents or the family and stuff. You'd like make him feel more confident, wouldn't you? Like somehow, I don't know. I know, like this sounds silly, but like go for a haircut, buy some new clothes, whatever it is that makes him feel confident. Let's go and join the gym or go and do some new sports. Whatever it is that will make him feel confident. Like you build that up, and then obviously it's not just that. And then if he's hanging around with friends that are like losers and like I don't know, like just really negative and like, do you know what I mean? Like they're not positive. They don't like.
How would you ever see it? How would you even know that the friends are like that?
Well, I'd like to know that. I'd like to think that, I would know who my son's friends hang.
I don't think we'd ever really know. And as they age, I think that.
Well, at secondary school, you'd hear of them, wouldn't you? They'd come home and tell you who their friends are, so you'd have an idea. You'd have a good idea of like who they're hanging around with and if they're successful at school or not.
I hope so.
If he's hanging around with a bunch of lowlifes and he's coming back with bad grades.
But I would also, like, aside from all that, like, going gym or buying new clothes and a haircut, I would like to instill in the child that, like, even if you're not good looking, happiness and that and self-fulfillment is not necessarily in the physical.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Superficial, shallow.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah. A lot of it is an accomplishment.
Yeah.
A lot of it is an experience,
That's why I like these days that from like even at nursery and reception years, they do that. They do a lot of that mindfulness stuff, and I really like that.
Yeah.
Don't they?
Yeah,
like
they do.
They bring home books that
and gratitude and
are
stuff.
Like so positive and start the day looking in the mirror and say, I am brave, I am happy, and I am hardworking, and do you know what I mean? I love that, and I do think it makes a difference if you start doing that kind of stuff at a young age.
Yeah, very powerful stuff.
Very
healthy, positive self-talk.
A lot of like cultures, a lot of like different countries have started doing that, like
Amazing.
On a daily basis.
Amazing.
It's a lot more common. I think it's a lot more common in America, for example, than in England.
Amazing, it really is. And I mean, these are the kinds of things, I suppose, that will steer away, hopefully, from this kind of incel culture.
Yeah, like creating that positive, happy mindset from
Yeah.
a young age.
Instilling it.
Like believing that you can conquer anything
Yeah.
at school and out of school.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I guess at secondary school, obviously you've got all this like pressure, like you've got all this like social side, and then you've got the school side, and I know secondary school life is hard, isn't it? It's challenging. I remember not enjoying secondary school for like the first half of it.
I loved it. I didn't find it hard, you know. I loved it.
I didn't find it hard. I just didn't really enjoy it.
I loved
just
it.
like I hated getting out of bed to go to school.
I was alright with it.
And then by the time I got to like year 5 and 6, I was fine. I was happy then. I was comfortable and I had friends and I was chilling and
Oh, like towards the end of...
end of the secondary school
Oh, right, yeah,
life. Yeah.
Yeah. Further like year 5 and 6, like that's primary, isn't it? But you're talking about starting again, like... You're on about first
Did
year
I say year
secondary.
5 and 6?
Yeah, you did. Which is the end of high school in a way. You'd call it year 11, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Yeah, you said year 5 and 6.
Oh, yeah, no, I meant like year 10, 11.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think I was cool with it all the way through, really. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Everything good. Everything chilling.
Yeah, but
Good
not
laughs.
everyone feels like that.
Yeah.
And when you're not happy at school and you've got to go every day and it's for years, it's kind of hellish.
Mm.
So yes, in that sense, like, you know, parents, you know, they can have a knock-on effect. You have to try and, in some ways, like help your child enjoy their school.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I think a lot more extracurricular stuff. I honestly do think, though, like, it's a whole different beast now with social media.
Yeah.
I think I wouldn't enjoy it now. Like, I'm not like a group chat kind of guy.
Yeah.
I don't like group chats. Group chats are a bit weird. I only like group chats if it's to arrange something. Okay, arrangement has been done. The surprise birthday has passed. I'm leaving the group chat. That's what I'm like. I'm like, it's not my kind of thing. There's a lot of miscommunication in them, in my opinion, and just like goes a bit weird. So I like to steer clear of that. I ain't got the time or energy for it. So I'm like, see you later. But often it's a case of like, you're not in the group chat, so you know, if they're not talking to you, they're talking about you. That's one of the things. But you just got to handle it, I suppose, in certain situations. And I feel like a lot of kids aren't going to be comfortable being out of the group because you've got to be like part of the group, aren't you? And that takes like a lot of strength at their age. That's what I think. But everyone's different, so everything is all, you know, unique to each person. The one take thing was interesting, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they would have to, can you imagine? They would have to memorize like loads of it
Yeah.
and just like not stop. For me, in fact, which one was the most impressive for you?
Obviously, episode 3.
The psychologist, the psychiatrist one.
Yeah. He amazed himself, the actor.
He amazed himself.
Jamie Miller.
Amazed himself, yeah?
Yeah. I watched a interview
All right.
other night. But it was him and the psychiatrist actor lady.
Uh-huh.
And they were saying, like, basically she was like complimenting him, saying how well he'd done in that scene and that she didn't have to act. She said, I didn't have to act, you like genuinely scared me enough. And the lines, like how much they had to remember, he was saying, I surprised myself, how I don't know how I did that, how I learned all those words, all those lines.
Honestly, that was...
he went into it, didn't he? Like full pelt, raw, emotional, and like it was really good. That was really
like
good.
pages and pages and pages of script.
Yeah, but like remembering that and acting at the same time,
Yeah.
is a skill in itself.
Yeah. Must have rehearsed that like crazy.
Yeah, because he had to like lose himself a little bit, didn't he?
Yeah. What was amazing was like how he could go from like quiet, calm, almost joking, almost banter,
Yeah.
to rage
Yeah. Then back to normal
and
again.
then come back.
He had to calm himself down again.
By the way, the kid's not like an actor. He ain't got acting experience. He had done like 1 or 2 classes of like media or something, or some like little 1 or 2 classes in like school or something, I don't know. But he's gone from literally 1 or 2 classes or whatever to that. That is proper crazy.
Talented.
Yeah, he has got a real future ahead of him. What they were saying is this whole one take stuff, it takes a lot from theatre. Because theatre is basically that. And they have quite long scenes in theatre where it'll go quite long, and so you've got to really know the lines, and they're not cutting. It's just going to keep on going on. So it takes from that. But I think that this was harder than theatre, in my opinion. Just because you've got so much pressure on you. You've got all that crew, all that cast, all them extras.
Yeah.
And it all boils down to the lines that you deliver and how well you do it.
Yeah.
Or if you forget or anything like that. What an idea as well to go with the whole one take idea.
Yeah.
These have got to be a world record, haven't they? They've got to be world record. Longest continuous shot in film media. It's got to be. For a dramatic work.
Probably not. They would have said, I think. I would have thought.
Well, I might have a look and see if it is a world record, because I think that it might be. But yeah, stunning work.
Yeah.
Genius.
Episode 3 and 4 was my favourite.
Why episode 4?
Just because I just felt like it was like really, like it really delivered the message to parents.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah.
It was just really emotional, raw feelings, between, the mum and dad, and like it was like a real serious discussion. What went wrong? How did this happen? And then it makes you think like, oh God, this could be anybody. This could happen to anyone.
Yeah. Do you know what it like?
Like it makes you think like, how's my parenting? Like,
yeah, of course.
What should I do and what should I not do?
Yeah.
Should I not let him go on a computer?
At the end, when he's crying into his pillow, into his son's bed, you can see he's really mourning the life that he had with his son. Like, that's it now. He's gone from my child to a convict.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like him looking at his son through his own eyes has just like changed there and then. And it really nails in this one concept which I've come across, and it's a bit sad to be honest, but I'm going to share it because I think it's apt. And that is that life is a succession of endings, to put it lightly. You know what I actually really mean, right? And what it means is like, at one point, you didn't know it, but that was your last time playing out with your friends. And that version of you ended. You didn't know it. Or at one point, that was the last time that your parents could pick you up. And then they put you down, and that was the last time. After that, you were too big to pick up or whatever. And that version of you ended. Do you know what I mean? And that's what keeps happening. And in this story, that version of his son and that father seeing his son that way had ended. And that was him mourning that life. And that was really sad.
Really sad, yeah.
Isn't it? Like when you've got to say bye to that chapter.
Yeah.
You know? That's why you've got to really take advantage of every part of your life that you're in right now, because at some point that'll come to an end, and then you know, people always want the past, don't they? You don't realise it when you're in it.
Yeah.
I would agree that for me as well, the most impressive ones was the third episode and the fourth episode. And I think that really, we both actually have the same reasons. And I think particularly for both of us, it was amazing because of the performances. Those two really focus on performance.
Yeah, because in episode 3, what's it called, Jamie in the program.
Yeah.
So like Jamie really reeled you in. Like his
Yeah.
performance, his acting really like
Yeah.
made you look at him on the TV and think, okay, is this where he goes a bit psycho? Is this where he goes, you know, a little bit mad? Is he gonna hit her? Is he gonna punch her? Is this where we see, you know, he's gonna be a bit disrespectful to a female? Because at the beginning of the show, you'd think like, okay, he's quite innocent looking.
Very.
Maybe it's not, you know, it's not him. Maybe he was just there with a friend and the friend legged it or something. And
Yeah, that's why it was a whodunit for me. That's why I was like, this is a mystery, murder mystery.
and he seemed pretty like confident when he was telling his dad, it's not me, I didn't do anything.
I believed
So
him.
that episode 3 was like, oh my god, that was some good acting.
Amazing acting.
It is him. It
Beyond
actually,
disease.
he's not that innocent. It is him.
Yeah.
And then in episode 4, like I was just crying with the dad, with Graham. Like, yep, couldn't hold the tears back. It was too good. That acting was too good.
Yeah.
And as a parent watching that, like, I just have to recommend it. I have to recommend it to a lot of parents
Yeah. Yeah, really worth watching.
and non-parents. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. People like Keir Starmer and other politicians or whatever are saying things like this should be shown in schools.
Yeah,
and
I
stuff
agree.
like that.
I agree. Yeah.
There's the wider conversation, and unfortunately this is related to like aspects of race, unfortunately, where people are saying things like in the actual crimes that this was inspired by, there was a racial element to it, and that these were carried out by a certain race, whereas the show isn't using that race to depict what's actually happened. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so there were conversations around that, but of course, unfortunately, maybe the motivations behind that conversation, I don't know, were they just looking for this to be more factually accurate, or were there actual motivations behind this that were a bit perhaps unhealthy? You know what I mean?
But I think like if it was like let's say if it wasn't Jamie Miller, it was like a kid from a different race. Like I think that would take away the main message of the show. It's not about race, though, is it? It's any child. This could happen to any child.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really matter.
That's right. I agree.
It's not about race. It's
I
not
agree.
about, you know, a certain attack in London where it was like, you know, a different race, like or loads of other race kids jumping on whatever. I think not relevant.
Yeah, not relevant. And this is talking to incel culture in a way, you know. Yeah, there was something else I was going to mention here and it has just gone. Yeah. But it'll come back to me. But yeah, really well put together. It's really taken the country by storm. Like everyone's talking about it.
Yeah. I mean, they're doing like these interviews like across America and stuff as well, aren't they?
Oh, that's what it is. I know that we've highlighted episodes 3 and 4,
Yeah.
but really episodes 1 and 2 were the shining moments for Asher D. I've forgotten his real name. Can you find his real name? Can I find his real name? Asher D, guys. I remember him from like So Solid. I wonder if anybody else remembers him from So Solid. Not that I really. Ashley Walters. D.I. Luke Bascom.
Yeah.
So I know that we, of course, like episodes 3 and 4, but got to give massive credit to Ashley Walters' performance. His performance as a policeman, massively varied in the way that it was done. Apparently, he did some research on it. He went on a raid with Stephen Graham's cousin, who is a policeman, and so he did some like police research with Stephen Graham's cousin, and. Yeah, I've got to give credit to him and his performance too, because that is a massive performance. But, you know, again, potentially one of the biggest that he's ever done. And I like where that went. I like how that spoke about the relationship with him and his son. You know, and I even liked how his son was like not a popular kid
Yeah.
in the school as well, and how that manifested and stuff, you know. So yeah, but again, although those episodes, they were not emotionally like wrenching, you know, in a way. Yeah,
Yeah. Good cast.
yeah, great
overall.
cast.
Yeah.
Yeah, psychologist was good, wasn't she? Great performance. Her performance was like subtle but powerful.
Yeah.
Yeah, really well put together. The wife was really good. Stephen Graham's wife.
Yeah.
She was really good. Did it really, really, really well. I like how they were talking about maybe we should go back to Liverpool for a bit, and he was like,
Oh,
"No,
yeah.
we're not doing that."
Yeah, because that would be like, a conversation you'd have,
Yeah,
wouldn't you?
yeah. Therefore, can I just say, guys, soap and water is never going to take off spray paint. I don't know what that bit was about. Have you tried soap and water? You put soap and water on it. Have you got a bit of Dove, a bit of hand wash, and just like, what are you doing? Who puts soap and water on paint? Oh, what are you on about? I think that was just to like propel the story. You know, just you take a bit of time. One thing as well, because it was all a one take, and I picked this up, right, because I look at film and editing and stuff, right? Because it was one take, it really made me realise and get in touch with the fact that this is all in real time. And what I mean by that is like, it's like they're having a conversation in my living room, let's say. I could go into the kitchen, grab some biscuits or whatever, and I can hear the conversation, and it's just a real-time conversation. Whereas in a film, it would of course be chopped and cut and chopped. So the sense of time is different in a normal film. The sense of time in this was very different because it was very natural, and we're not really used to that. Our natural, in terms of time, temporal awareness on screen, our natural is that which is cut. And the cuts make it more efficient. The cuts suggest passage of time. They couldn't use that in this. So everything is really real time. And they were really good at like keeping attention. Because you could very easily get bored.
Yeah.
Very easily, because things are in real time. That's why that's why the whole cutting, editing exists.
Yeah.
Because of attention. They were very clever with it. People, I was talking about this like with colleagues and stuff, and they were saying, "Oh yeah, there's one scene where they're driving," and I was just like, "Oh God, just get on with it." Then I was like, "Okay, I'll look out for that," because I wasn't at that episode yet. When I watched it, I was like, oh, "I'm okay with it. I'm okay with it."
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's even more poignant in today's day and age of short videos. Look at it in that perspective,
Yeah.
where everyone is like wrapped up in a 1 minute maximum,
Yeah.
you know, dopamine hit. And then there's this, which is like, no, we're not gonna give you like a really quick dopamine hit. We're gonna slow this right down, and you're gonna like watch the whole thing and like just get involved. So really well done, amazing performances, very well written,
Yeah.
extremely
I agree.
efficient. Again, great choice of the 4 scenes to tell this story. That for me is like amazing. Whoever chose those 4 situations to tell this story was an absolute genius on how they did that. Really, really clever. Yeah. For me, like I was still thinking that the kid didn't do it until at the very end when he changed his plea to guilty. Then I was like, oh sugar, he did do it.
Oh no, mine was in episode 3 when he like went nuts.
Yeah. I mean that was a big one. But I
Yeah.
don't know, I like it to be like crystal clear, I suppose.
And then he basically admitted it.
Yeah. I like how they put him in like a mental health facility because there was no space in like a normal prison. And I like how they showed that because that's a detail that like people will just not know about. You know? I mean, if going to a proper prison isn't bad enough for you, imagine there's no space in that prison and so they're putting you into a mental health place. That'd be wild. You know what I mean?
That's better than prison though, isn't it?
I don't know what. I don't know.
I suppose we don't know.
I suppose you don't know. I mean, with a mental health one, there were like kids screaming all the time. That's a bit scary. But yeah, I think that's basically all of it covered. Anything else that you want to say on it?
No,
No?
can't think of anything.
No, same here.
What'd you give it
same
out of 10?
Out of 10, I give it like, I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
same.
What could have made it better though? Like, why am I not giving it a 10? Even I don't really know, to be honest. I mean, looking at it was actually amazing. Isn't it? Because I suppose the only thing that could make it go 10 out of 10 is if it was actually filmed in a dramatic style.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean? But I'm
Yeah.
like, but that's not what it is. That's not the style. That's just not what this is.
yeah, that's true.
I suppose it's hard to judge it because it's so unique.
Yeah,
We can't. It's a tough one to judge. So it may well be a 10 out of 10, to be honest.
yeah.
It may well be a 10 out of 10. It's because it's the first of its kind,
Yeah,
and we're measuring it against everything else which we've seen,
yeah,
which just is not like this.
that's true.
So it's hard to say. And forget it. 10 out of 10. It is. It's 10 out of 10. It's genius. It's really clever.
Yes, okay.
Really, really well done. It is a 10 out of 10. And
Yes.
like, you can't, the effort they've put into that, no one's going to do this again. We ain't going to see another one of these for ages. Absolutely ages. And if we do, I bet you there's going to be AI involved and special effects cuts.
Yeah, there's a lot of work involved.
I reckon that's going to happen if someone does another one of these. There won't be a genuine organic
house,
one take.
I read a couple of nights ago that the house was, it's in Yorkshire, so they like filmed it over like between June and September, so
Right.
over the summer, over like so 3 months, and like what you mentioned previously, like it was like the strategy of it all, like because they had to go to that what did that shop? What's that shop called? They called in the show like a B&Q where they bought the
Like a
paint and
B&Q,
stuff.
yeah.
Yeah. So like filming all that in one shot,
Yeah.
knowing you have to go to a paint shop,
And
do you know what I
back.
mean? And back using your drones or whatever. I thought was really smart.
Yeah.
So much work, so much planning involved.
Yeah. Because that's what I was talking about, isn't it?
That's why I found it interesting reading about how they filmed it, you know, behind the scenes stuff,
Yeah.
and how they planned all this, because it's genius.
It is genius. And like, how, just think, right? They would have had to find a house which is like a 10-minute drive away from a DIY place. And then they've got to write a script that fits that distance.
Yeah,
I find that really clever. That you've got to write a script that fits that drive and then back again. I find that really, really, really quite smart.
yeah.
Yeah. Extremely well put together. Really well done. I think there was something else I wanted to say, but maybe I'll leave it in the comments. Just like you guys should. Let us know about any of your thoughts, what you think of it, what you liked, what you disliked. And are you watching anything else that Stephen Graham is in? Or even what Ashley Walters is in? I know he's done loads of stuff. He's done a bit of directing now. He's come a long way from So Solid Crew. He's done really good acting though, you know. He's been in a lot of good things. I've forgotten what else. I think he's in Top Boy, but I'm not sure. I've not really watched Top Boy, but I know I've seen him around. I know he's done a lot of acting, and he's good. So yeah, great cast, great performances, absolutely fantastic. And I think that's basically all of it, guys. That's Adolescence covered.
Yeah.
Yeah. So thank you guys for watching, and we will catch you guys in the next one. This was a look at Adolescence in quite a lot of detail and in all of its aspects. So we'll catch you guys in the next one. See you guys later.